Hi, my name is Daniel, and today we're going to talk about skill lists. So, what is a skill list? Well, a skill list is simply a definition of skills that are important for example, a role, like a project manager, or for a department, for a team, or maybe a competence area like leadership. The skill list helps us to define exactly what skills we should focus on when it comes to this. So, why does this matter? Well, skills are very important because if we want to be very productive, we want to do high quality things, we need to make sure we have the right people, the right skills, and have the right skills and skill levels and the people. We would not be able to deliver high quality and be productive. So let's get started by having a look inside MuchSkills and how this skill list looks like. So here's MuchSkills, and if you go to teamwork and analyses, this is a skill list analytics or skill list creator. On the left side, you can see all the different skill lists I have created in the past. If you just set up MuchSkills, you will see there are a bunch of lists that we have created for you just to help you get started really quick. You will see skill lists like agility and adaptability, consultancy competence, like these are kind of competence areas, but you will also see roles like data analyst, data engineer, front-end engineer, or their entire teams like a marketing team. You can tap on any of these to see here what I have defined are the most important skills for an example, the marketing team. And as you can see, it's a nice mix of both tools that are very important, but also there are very important like general skills. And this helps me to analyze the marketing team. I can see here like, oh, okay, this is nice. I can see what we have in our team, meaning how many experts do we have, how many intermediate and how many beginners. And if I tap here, I can see exactly who these people are and on what offices around the world they are located. And I can do that, of course, with anything. So here I can see, okay, there are several people here that are intermediate when it comes to sketch, for example. Also, there are different tabs. So here is all the skills I'm analyzing, and I can also click on relevant members, and I'm able then to see all the different people in my team, and I can see what skills they have, what skill levels, and what skills they don't have. In red is what they don't have, blue is what they have, yellow means they're beginner, green intermediate, and black is expert. So I really get a very detailed view of each person in my team. I can also click on my personal skill gap just to see myself. I can also click on Learn Material to see any related learning material connected to this list of skills. And as you can see, there are 52 different materials here, and many of them are free. So this is a skill list, but before you get started and create your own list, I want to mention some important things. What should you consider as you create your list and as you edit your list? Well, there are several important things. When you create a list, let's say for a role, we really want to make sure it's very clear about like what is included in this and our expectations of a role. If you're creating the role product manager or a front-end developer or whatever it may be, you want to say like these are the skills we prioritize in our organization. Also remember that when you're defining this is really good for recruitment actually. You now have a defined list of the most important skills when you're recruiting and trying to find new people. And you can use the data of your current team to better understand who should recruit to complement what the skills you already have. Also, it's about behaviors. As you maybe noticed, there were some soft skills in my lists, and you're going to see there's a lot of soft skills. We want to showcase that certain behaviors or certain soft skills are what we are expecting in a certain role. If you're a product manager, you're probably really good at problem solving and communication and problem solving, while in other type of roles, maybe other soft skills are higher prioritized. Also, it's about employee development. We want to make it really clear to what skills are prioritized when it comes to a personal development and the role you have. It is also about feedback and coaching. A list of skills and a personalized gap analysis of each person enables you to give amazing feedback, coaching. And this skill gap analysis helps us to better understand our current situation for this role or competence area or team. So you can focus on all those things. And of course, make sure we focus on upskilling and career development. But let's go back and see a little bit what we can do with these lists. So I go back to MuchSkills and I want to show you the effect it have. So if we go to my growth and gap analysis, you will now see the list I published. So I can create a list of skills and I publish them, and each and every employee can then get a personalized skill gap analysis. And this is really cool. So what I will see is that I've added all my skills, and now I can see every role in the company, totally 31 different roles and competence areas, and my fit. It's literally my personal top list. So why have we done this? Well, we want to make it really easy for an employee to see these are the skills, this is what I'm good at, these are my superpowers, this is my competence, and where does that fit in the organization? We are creating intermobility. It is easy for me to see my fit, even roles I didn't know I could do. So this is my personal list, and here you can see project managers, what is in the absolutely top of the 31 roles we're analyzing. And here you can see in blue prioritize skills. What that means is that we're saying, you know what? These are the skills you really, really almost must have to be able to do this role well. We're also showing remaining skills. These are skills like, yeah, you should have them, but like I'm expecting a senior to have all, while maybe a very junior person is beginner in many of these skills. Perfect. So we can now see my personal skill gap here. And in red are some skills I don't have. Green show I'm intermediate in writing. I am an expert in communication, and I'm a beginner in negotiation. I want you to look a little bit here now. This is really amazing. You can so clearly see my gap when it comes to this role. If you're my manager, we can have an amazing talk about my development opportunities and where I feel I'm really strong, but also maybe also see where I'm kind of lacking a little bit and I need help or coaching or mentorship. And based on this data here, we can create a personalized development plan for me. If we scroll down, we can also see other roles that I'm a good fit to or a competence area. So instead of defining every role in the company for leadership, like, oh, I was a HR manager and this is IT manager and this is the CTO, like it's unnecessary. Like it's one person that have that role. We don't need to do that. Instead, we can focus on a competence like leadership or being a good manager. And here we're now clearly showing the different skills required to be an outstanding manager or leader. So here we can see the skills and the skill levels, and also here we can see my personal skill gap towards this competence area. I'm clearly guided on here improvements and things I can develop and grow. And there is a little course button here. Of course, I can tap this and I'm then able to see any kind of related learning material. And the best part is that you can add your own learning material from your own library. But of course, we at MuchSkills have added amazing content. And as you can see, about 75% of all content are included and free. Now, when it comes to this personal analytics, I also want to kind of really show other things. So I have created lists like high performing culture. What is really required for us to have a high performing culture? And what skills is it that is required to do that? So I added that as well to kind of build this idea and discussion in our organization around this. And as you scroll down, I can be like, wow, service designer. I don't even know what that is when it comes to that role. But it's so interesting for me to see I could be this. I'm just lacking a few skills. I could maybe upskill myself. Like maybe I'm not interested to be a product manager and now I could be a service designer. So a great way for you to kind of really create a good culture in your organization is to create these lists not only for a role. I want you to think bigger. Roles, departments, teams, or maybe even general competence areas. Now let's go back to analysis. So we go to team org, analysis, and I want to show you how we can create a new list. You can either do it manually, meaning you add skills one by one. You can simply use the little plus sign here if you want to create your own list and manually do it. Or you can use an AI. The AI is here to assist you because it can be really tricky sometimes to come up with exactly what skills and remember what skills we have to select from. So I want to show you how you can do this. We always come up with little suggestions here, and I'm going to use that as a help. So UI designer, critical skill areas. But let's tweak it a little bit. Please help me create the role UI designer. And then you can also say either you can just go and it will help you to create that, but you can actually tell it like what skills are important for you. Please help create the role UI designer. And prioritized skills are project management and research. Now you can tap here and you can start the analytics. So what it will do then, it will create a suggestion for you, UI designer role skills. So this is nice. You can change this, of course. And there's also a short description. Then I can click save and continue. And then what the AI does, it will look only at your specific skill lists and see, okay, based on what I got here, let's create something that could be a suggestion for how this role could look like. And you will get that here. So you can see then like, okay, prioritize skills, important skills for this role are what I wrote, product management and research and user research, wireframing, UX. This is amazing. You can either tap to add one and one if you want to. So now you can see product management added. It is prioritized, and I will soon explain what it means. And you have remaining skills. This is all looking, guys. So I click add all suggestion and it will automatically add everything here. In addition to this, I can then continue and I can say show all, and here's other suggestions that AI have created based on the idea of this specific role as a UI designer. So prototyping sounds great, usability testing, research, design thinking, storyboarding. As you can see, it is perfectly fitting skills for this role. But there are some things that are maybe more a suggestion and maybe not super important, so I decided not to add them. But I do like design specs, concept development, pattern recognition, user customer centricity, empathy. So as you see, this is a beautiful mix both of functional skills and just general skills. Great. Now when I've done this, I can scroll down. I can see there are 16 skills we're analyzing. And then you may ask, okay, how many skills should we analyze? Well, our recommendation is that 20 and all the way maybe up to 40 for a standard role. If you have an engineer, you probably will increase this. So it could be more than 40. This is because when we have an engineer, like for example, a full stack engineer, there's a lot of different technologies we use and we want to add that as well. Now, I will review this list here and great, this is super nice. But maybe we want to add some more things. So I was like, I can ask AI to help me look for things. And we also add Figma and Notion. So I can click enter here and it's then refreshing or like reanalyzing the entire suggestion. And here you can see Figma Notion. But we don't want to stop there. We always look for other things just to kind of remind you that, yeah, you have these, but there are other great stuff as well. So yeah, Figma and Notion are two important tools a UI designer would use. But we do also show that, how about Adobe Photoshop or Illustration Draw or Sketch and other important things. So this is great. I could have a look here and I'm like, yeah, actually we do use Photoshop. I know there's some people that know Sketch. I'm going to add that. I can also see there are other things here. You know what? Typography, super good. And I want to have animation. I think this is good. So I did add additional skills and now we're up in 22. And I added the most important tools we're using. Now, if you don't want to use the AI, you just want to add, you can remove AI and you can then tap here and it will then show you all the skills that you have in your skills taxonomy or your skills list. It also shows you, for example, if you're using validated competences, it will show you other technical skills and job focus and soft skills, but also certificates. So you have all type of skills, certifications, and validations of a person. So for example, for this here, I could add, yeah, I want to have special awards as like a thing you could actually get as a UI designer. So it's called Pixel Perfect Gold Winner. I'm gonna do that. I also think that we should have these 3 successful client projects. I want to add also something else. Let me think here. So we have a lot of things, so I could scroll and you can see here methodology framework languages to be creative, and I can just go in here in our creative list and also look here. So you see there are so many different opportunities of what you can do. And you can also filter. So if I search Adobe, all different Adobe products will appear and I can choose from every Adobe product there is, literally. You will also see there are different Adobe certificates. So Adobe Certified Professional Experience Manager, brilliant. I want to add that certificate also as a requirement. So now we're analyzing totally 25 skills. We have a great name, descriptor, added all these different skills, and you can also scroll down. You can see the skills we have and the skills we don't have, the certificates required for this, and different special awards that we have decided we should have. This list here, UI designer role, if you go to my growth, you go to gap analysis, this will now be included in the lists of skill analysis. So I'm going to do UI, and you will then see here is the UI designer role skills, and you can see here my personal skill gap to this role that I have created. So a great way to make it super clear once again what is required to have this role. But let's go back again to the analysis. I go down my list here, and here you will see is in draft. So this is an important piece. I could see this list in the gap analysis, but it is actually a draft. So what does this mean? You may be working on a list or maybe even working on a role that is not public yet. So what you can do here is that it's always in a draft mode whenever you create a new list. You can click on launch list and you can now see it's only visible to you. You can make it visible for you and collaborators. So let me show you what that means. If you tap on this cog, here you can see the descriptor, who have access, if it's locked, and you can add collaborators. So imagine that I'm creating a new role and I don't want people to know about this role. Like I'm just like exploring, we have discussions like maybe you should create this role. Well, then you can set that individuals will have access. So I can say here that these three people here and me will be able to see this role. And I then click save. So nobody in the organization can see what I have created, only me and those three additional people, and of course the administrators of this platform. So this is great. I have done some changes. And maybe this is extra important for me, this like I'm working on it. I can click on this little star icon here and it will then be a starred list. Now, perfect. So I've done all these things. It looks great. I'm reviewing a little bit. I want to show you some additional features that you can use here. So now I created the UI designer role. Maybe you created this because you want to see if there are people in the organization that fits this role. You can then click on relevant members and it immediately will analyze what you have created. It will show you people that have prioritized skills, remaining skills, and so on. And you can see their fit. Remember, red was the skills they don't have. You can also tap on a lot of things. So remember that always when you do things. You can say, well, I want to kind of highlight the most important skills. So now the list is redone and it will show you people that have most of the prioritized skills. Or you can say, I want to see people that have most expert skills. And it's once again reprioritized and you will see people where the count of most expertise is. Or maybe most beginners. And we do the same thing again. So I can do all these different things. You can also click on name to see it in name order. Now, when you are looking at all these people, maybe you want to filter a little bit. So there is something called filter. You have this on every page. So maybe I don't want to see every department in the company. I can click design and it will now only show the people in the design department. That is totally 5 people and suddenly the analytics is a little bit more easy and I can go and see here exactly who in my design department that have these different skills and I can make decisions if we need to recruit somebody. Can I upskill somebody or should we actually just recruit internally? Now, if you go back to skills analyzed, and I'm going to remove the filter here again, you can see that this report is immediately remade. So it's a beautiful way for you to kind of analyze either the entire organization, or use the filter and say, I only want to analyze engineering department, the report is remade, or you can combine, it's engineering, design, and marketing together. You can also base it on locations. You can say, well, only these 3 departments, but only New York. Or you can use something called tags. Here you can have, for example, I only want to see people that belongs to a specific team called project management. Another thing you can do is use managers. So you can say, I only want to see, for example, people managed by Ansgar. So I do that, and now I only see individuals managed by that person. So there are a lot of things you can use with these filters, and of course you can save the filter so you never have to set it again. Great, now we are having this analytics. Let's play around a little bit. Remember when I said that, yeah, when we are creating these lists, you can use it for skill gap analysis. You can review, for example, collectively, what people with this role have, but it could also be for our team or anything else. And I want to show you how you can look and play around with the data. So here we have skills analyzed, and I can, of course, click to sort it of the skill name. You can sort it by where do we have most or you can use this here to remove experts or intermediate or beginners. So let's resort again. And if you don't want to see everybody that are beginners, you can click on this and it will be hidden. This means that it's much easier for me to quickly see, okay, where do we have, for example, people that are productive, meaning that they can produce in this area. A beginner usually can't, I mean, they're just still training or learning the subject. So wireframing, we have 5 people, user research, 5 people, and so on. And I can clearly see where we don't have any expertise at all, or anybody who can actually produce. For example, animation and concept development, we are lacking that expertise in our organization. If you want to, there's another analytics that I like to do pretty often. I usually remove intermediate and I focus on only expertise. So expertise is super important. Experts are driving innovation in your company. They are spreading knowledge to others. So it's important to have a set of experts within different areas. And here it's so clear for me that we don't have certain skills. For example, UI design, which is the area, the competence, the role that we're defining for, there are actually no expert in UI design. If we don't have an expert, what is the quality of what we deliver? Something to think about. Do I need to hire somebody? Do I need to upskill somebody? What do I need to do? And of course, you can turn back on here and see that we have 4 intermediate. I can tap, I can see who these people are. Actually, here I can see Florence and Olivia. Maybe I can upskill them and send them a lot of courses, inspire them so they can be lifted up to an expertise stage and level. So there are many things here you can do. I want to show you some other opportunities as well and just discuss a little bit so you kind of get inspired to see what you can do. For example, I want to analyze, are our team good at like focusing on customers? And it is actually defined by skills. So I create a list called customer first. Here I added a bunch of skills that are very important when it comes to generally focusing on customers. And once again, I can analyze our organization, I can see percentages, and I can see if we have a need of upskilling, recruitment, or anything else. I also want to highlight that you can really combine things. If I go to Product Manager, here I created about 32 skills that we're analyzing. And as you can see, there are many different skills. There are opportunities to add certificates like a PMP certificate, and you can then see if people have a certificate or not. You can also add security and compliance, which could be like, for example, did this person do a specific training and receive a badge for it? Or it could be, of course, the awards that I showed you when I created for my designer. All this you can set up is called validated skills and competence and badges. You can look in our how-to guide on how to do this in more detail. So these are all the different things you can do here when it comes to this creating these lists. Now, of course, there are many details and you can play around. I think go and create many AI lists, have fun, explore, and see what you can do. If you need any help at all to explore this, or if you have questions, whatever it may be, you can always tap in the bottom right and contact our team. We are there all the time to help you and support you with whatever it may be. I wish you an amazing day and have a lot of fun.